Hey, grade 12. So we are done part one of Quint 2 because we start a brand new schedule tomorrow. So reminder, last names beginning with A to K. That's day one, starts tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And your afternoon class is at 12. And so they run for 2 hours and 10 minutes in total length per class. Day two is last names beginning with L to Z, and that's on Friday. And again, 9 o'clock start for the morning class, 12 o'clock for the afternoon class. And then it's up to you to keep track of your days. So it's day one, day two, day one, day two, and so on and so forth, right to the end of the Quint. So check out the email that was sent out to everybody and shows the schedule. It's even color coded, so you can tell which day is your day. But you know that like next week, for example, you have day one will be going Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week, and day two will be Tuesday, Thursday, and then reversed. Okay, so day one is November 19th, day two, November 20th, day one, November 23rd, the 24th, day two, and so on and so forth. In regards to due dates, so day 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So the research paper is, and the project, a tombstone project is due November 30th. Day two shows up on the 30th. So yours is in on that day no matter what. And if you're emailing your research paper or if you're sending pictures of your tombstone project, day two, November 30th. If day one is emailing, that will be November 30th, no matter what. If you're handing in an actual submission in class, then you hand in on December 1st, which will be your day one class. So just look at the calendar, and I'm going to leave that up to you to figure that out. So whatever day the due date is scheduled for, if that's not your day, you're handing in the next day. Okay, I think that's the easiest way of going about it. Yeah, okay. So we finished Hamlet. Hey, and we had good reading on that competition as well. So thank you for the participants. And we went over Act 4, Scene 7, and then Act 5, Scene 1 and 2. So I'm going to bring up the notes. You can press pause at any point and get that information. And your summaries are due now. We are done the play, so they are due now. And marks go live Friday, so if you don't want to have an NHI or not hand it in, mark under that column. Let's get it in before Friday. So that means tomorrow for sure. And you can email it to me. I guess I have it set up on Google Classroom. You can send it there. And you can also submit it in class, right? 3 ways. All right, so let's go to notes. Okay. And let me just go back here. That's scene 4. That's scene 5. All right, scene 7's at the bottom here. So the king is prepping Laertes for revenge on Hamlet and planning a duel where Hamlet will either die from poisoned sword or drink. Gertrude informed Laertes that Ophelia has killed herself by drowning. Claudius encouraged Laertes to seek revenge publicly so everyone will know of his loss and sadness and who caused it. Now, I mentioned in scene 5 that Laertes had found out about his sister being dead and drowned, but that doesn't happen. So that's an error on my part. So this point here, right there, needs to come out. And so I'm going to cut that out, and I'm going to put it here. And I'm just going to fix it up a bit here. Gertrude informs her. Okay. Okay, well, it's kind of repetitive, but anyways. Let's see. Meanwhile, he finds himself, his sister dead. And, let's just do that. He finds out from Gertrude that Ophelia has killed herself by drowning. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, there you go. Editing on the go. All right, so then we move into episode 5, or Act 5. The rest is silence. And so I mentioned in class that I'm not sure why this wasn't split into at least 3 scenes for Act 5. Act 1, Act 5 scene 1 works, but it's Act 5 scene 2. It's split into 2 parts. So not sure why Shakespeare did it that way, but anyways, he did. So, but scene 2 should be split into 2 parts there. That's just my personal opinion. So we have Hamlet and Horatio. They are in a graveyard. Now remember, Hamlet's just returned from his escapades, I guess, that occurred en route to England, and he will learn more about what happened. Of the events that led him back to Denmark. But in the meantime, he comes across these grave diggers and has a little conversation. And the grave diggers were debating whether or not Ophelia should be receiving the type of burial that she's receiving due to the circumstances that led to her tragedy or tragic death. And so we have a little conversation with the grave diggers. Then a funeral procession enters, and we find out it's Ophelia that's being buried there. And Laertes doesn't want to leave his sister with no religious burial. Again, the death is in question. Now, you can probably say to Laertes, well, you left her alone to go to France to do your own thing. And if you cared as much for Ophelia now, it's like you should have, could have, would have with Laertes earlier. But Laertes was trying to get pretty much away from his father, and the only way to do that was to go to France early on. But he never really did get away from his father because Polonius had sent Rinaldo in Act 2 to go spy on him. So technically he wasn't on his own in France. He's being watched all the time, and that was the downfall of Polonius's character. So Hamlet jumps out and declares his love for Ophelia. Laertes and Hamlet fight, but nobody believes Hamlet anymore. He's run out of any support that he had. The only person that's supporting him right now is Horatio. So Claudius has to, again, calm Laertes down and just keep him focused on this duel that they have discussed earlier at the end of Act 4. And that was to have a public duel with Hamlet, and they'll poison a sword, and then have a backup plan of a poison drink. Okay, so Hamlet says he wants to pay his last respects, and then he will be joining Ophelia shortly. So we have a foreshadow there. And then finally, the last scene. So we get the whole story of what transpired, that Hamlet was en route with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern accompanying him to England. And then Hamlet finds out that one of them had a letter that was meant for the King of England, and in that letter, it says that upon arrival, Hamlet is to be killed. So, well, Hamlet certainly didn't want that to happen, so he forges a letter and just Hamlet out and puts Rosencrantz in and Guildenstern in, and then seals it up with a signet ring. So the signet is that coat of arms or symbol of the Kingdom of Denmark, and then you just stamp the wax, and it's sealed. And it can't be, you can't break a waxed letter and then reseal it again, make it look like it hasn't been touched. It has to be, you have to have that symbol in order to make it look legit. So it ended up looking legit, and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, of course, paid their dues for not leaving soon enough. They got themselves in too deep and they didn't realize it. So there's the end of those two individuals. They duel, Hamlet and Laertes. Laertes scratches Hamlet first, and of course the poison's going through Hamlet's body, but it's taking its time. And then the Queen wants to give Hamlet a drink. He declines. She toasts to everybody, and to Hamlet, she drinks it. Claudius yells out, "Don't drink the poison!" And she says, "I will do what I want to do, and I want to toast to my son." So she toasts, drinks, and she dies because the poison was pretty strong. And so then Hamlet calls for everything to be shut down. Laertes has already scratched Hamlet, so Hamlet sees that it's an unbaited sword, so the dull point is no longer there. That's why he was able to scratch. He scratches Laertes, and the poison seems to affect Laertes a lot quicker than it did for Hamlet. And so then Laertes realizes he's going to die pretty soon. He asks for forgiveness. He even states that it's all Claudius's fault, and he also says to Hamlet that you are free of any judgment from me and anyone else. This wasn't your fault. And so Hamlet apologizes to him. So both of them are redeemed at that point. And so then Claudius is stabbed, and the rest of the poison he's drink, and then he has then Hamlet dies, but tell us the ratio, tell everybody about my story, and be sure that this never happens again. And so then Hamlet says his famous line, "The rest is silence," and he dies. Fortinbras and his crew comes in, and we have a battle, or not a battle, sorry. They see everybody on the floor, and he goes, "What's going on here?" Horatio tells the story, and Fortinbras says, "Well, we need to hear the story so that this never happens again." And then we officially find out Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead because the ambassador of England comes in, and then that's the end of the story. Hamlet gets a death march, and we're done Shakespeare. All right. So congratulations. Please get your summaries in right away, and you can get your mark updated for. And don't forget your research papers, and tombstone projects are due the 30th, and shooting an elephant, Yoda quotes, and abbreviations are in due Monday. All right. Any questions? Let me know. Have a good one. We'll see day 1 tomorrow and day 2 on Friday. Take care and be safe.